This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Now at 11, spring storms continue. Heavy rain, strong winds, and lightning are moving through central Indiana. Good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory with a Storm Team 6 alert. Kevin.
And I'll start off by saying no severe storms. If you haven't had a direct hit with heavy rain, you've definitely seen the lightning show. This is a picture up in Zionsville. Thanks to Scott Byrne for sending that in. The lightning show continues, and heavy rainfall as well. Over 3 inches just south of Crawfordsville, 2 inches south of Lebanon, and 1 to almost 3 from Hancock County into Henry. We will have some localized flooding as a result. Heavy rainfall between Indy and Greenwood moving northeast. This will continue toward Greenfield, Knightstown, also Newcastle. This will be along Interstate 70 for the next few hours. Again, and pulsing thunderstorms may produce some hail, certainly torrential rain and gusty winds of 40 miles per hour or more. As we go through the overnight, it will get quieter. And during the day tomorrow, we'll begin to dry out. Our severe threat is low. Hail, winds, and flooding would be the main threats overnight.
Organized volunteering is changing in Pendleton as the community continues to clean up tornado damage. The Volunteer Reception Center is now closed. The Indiana State Volunteer Organizations active in disasters will now coordinate those efforts. The Red Cross is still at Pendleton Christian Church, assisting families impacted by Monday's tornado.
We all want to know that somebody cares about us.
People experiencing homelessness across Indianapolis may soon face even more adversity. A popular ministry that helps the homeless population is just days away from shutting its doors. RTV6's Graham Hunter shows you what the shelter means to those who need it most.
What started in a tent has grown to over 5,000 square feet of compassion and understanding. A place for people living on the streets to relax, get a hot meal, or some clean clothes. These two buildings house Refuge Place Indy. This resource for people with nowhere to go could itself soon become homeless. Refuge Place Indy has always been about the people who stop by.
I got companionship. I got to see my friends.
Sarah has experienced homelessness in her life.
It's a full-time job to just go to get your next meal, to get shelter, to find a little bit of peace and enjoyment.
Sarah and others come for different reasons: for food, hygiene, clothing, and relief.
Get some laughs together and have fun, forget about some of the suffering.
But it all comes at a cost of around $4,000 each month to operate.
Donations been down ever since Christmas.
A steady flow of donors cover half the cost, but it's too much, and now Refuge Place is becoming a refugee.
It's going to be like starting all over.
Elder Tim Wellington is a board member for the ministry. He says the group can't stay at the place it's called home since 2007.
We got to get another location and downsize so we can continue meeting the needs of the people.
Wellington says if they could find 200 people to donate $20 each month, they can keep going.
You know, we feed people, 50 to 85 people every day.
Wellington says they'll find a way to keep providing meals for their friends who live on the streets. But most of all, they need to find a place to call home where people can sit, charge their phones, and feel safe.
People need those basic needs met, or they're not going to be okay.
Refuge Place Indy has been there for those in need, and now it's the ministry that needs a helping hand.
That's what it's about, is, kind of bringing that peace.
For more information on how to donate to help support Refuge Place Indy, head over to theindychannel.com and click on this story. Reporting from the Near East Side, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. And working for you, you reached out to RTV6 and we got results. Now, people with frustrations over similar issues like cable concerns and pothole problems are also asking for help. A Greenwood homeowner says an exposed cable cord has been in her backyard for 3 years. Paula X says the cable goes from a box in one neighbor's backyard through her property to a box 2 doors down. She contacted RTV6 after we helped a woman dealing with the same problem last week.
Please come and bury the cord that's in my yard.
How soon do you want that done?
As soon as they can do it. It's been here forever.
After RTV6 contacted Comcast on X's behalf, a customer service representative visited her home. He told her burying the cable is a high priority and will get taken care of as soon as possible.
And people who live in a mobile home park in Mooresville need help getting potholes patched. Neighbors at Sunset Court Mobile Home Park say they've reached out to management for years about the bumpy and dangerous roads, but nothing's changed.
Somebody's going to fall and get hurt. And we've asked them and asked them. I've asked them for the last 3 years. I've sent emails to them. They've not took care of the problems.
I just wish they'd do what they promised to do. It'd make life so much easier for everybody in here.
Management tells RTV6 it does fill potholes periodically. Representatives say crews filled several potholes a few months ago and new ones will be addressed. We'll continue to follow up to make sure that happens. A different mobile home park in Mooresville had a similar problem. Neighbors shared their frustrations with RTV6 earlier this month. One day after we contacted management about the problem, the roads were repaved.
And if you have a problem and need help getting results, reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
New at 11, a pair of stolen puppies are back where they belong. Someone took the pit bull pups Saturday from the Humane Society of Johnson County. They were returned tonight. The sheriff's office shared this picture of the puppies playing before they were reunited with their mother. Detectives are still working to identify the suspects who took the dogs. Investigators are thanking the community for tips.
There are new concerns about how Indiana schools report bullying. A statewide survey reveals less than half of districts believe their bullying numbers are accurate. Call 6 Investigates reporting led to a change in state law that requires the Department of Education to survey schools about why they're not reporting accurately. The top reason? Many schools say behaviors don't fit the definition of bullying, such as fights and peer conflicts. The state's definition of bullying is a long one and says it must be repeated acts. Department of Education spokesperson Adam Baker explains some schools may characterize incidents as fights or conflicts rather than bullying.
Schools might mark it as a classroom disruption, and just depending on the plethora of codes you can mark it on, it isn't always marked as bullying. And so I know one of our key initiatives moving forward is making sure districts understand if it meets that definition, we need you to record it as that definition. It's very important that we have a hold on the climate of the state.
The survey also found less than half of schools believe their numbers are accurate. Other reasons for not reporting accurately include that the definition of bullying is too vague and a lack of training regarding the issue. Schools also complain parents do not understand what bullying is. The State Department of Education is training school corporations, parents, and students about what constitutes bullying.
The city of Indianapolis continues to bring resources to you. The latest neighborhood resource fair went to Decatur Central High School on the southwest side of the city tonight. Several government and nonprofit organizations participated, including the Health Department, IMPD, Keep Indianapolis Beautiful, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. The fair is a convenient way for people to get government and community services.
So this way people who are maybe looking to access city government don't have to drive all the way downtown, find parking, pay for parking, go through security, then take the elevator up to whatever the floor they're trying to get to.
The Neighborhood Resource Fair is part of Mayor Joe Hogsett's Indy 3.0 initiative to make the city services more efficient and accessible.
A growing West Side community is getting new life. Today, the mayor's office cut the ribbon on townhomes in a neighborhood northeast of Tibbs in Washington. The 58-bar development sits on the former Central State Hospital site, which operated from 1848 to 1994. City leaders say the project is part of a mission to create affordable home ownership opportunities in neighborhoods across the city.
And when we can do that in a new area for redevelopment like Central State, we really are able to push the edge of redevelopment, to push the edge of the market further and further into neighborhoods away from the center of downtown, which is good for the whole city.
The project will eventually include restaurants, entertainment facilities, park areas, walking trails, and more. This is a huge day for RTV6. 70 years ago, we became the first commercial TV station on the air in Indiana.
To put that in perspective, here are some of the ways that things have changed since then. So back in 1949, Indianapolis had a population of 427,000. Today, it is almost twice that. The average family income in Marion County was about $3,600 a year. Downtown Indianapolis was the main hub for shopping and entertainment. Buses had started replacing electric streetcars, and fares were 13 cents a ride back then. Hey, back in 1949, TVs were still a relatively new feature in American homes. But if you had one, you would have seen commercials like this.
In a recent test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists making weekly examinations reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Well, the post-World War II boom was underway and housing was in big demand. Some property in Indianapolis cost just $600 an acre. That's how things were back then. If you missed our one-hour special, 70 Years Together, you can watch it right now at theindychannel.com and through the RTV6 app on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV.
And tonight we hosted a watch party for our anniversary special. You'll notice current and former anchors and reporters mingling in the crowd. It was so great to see all of these people and legends of RTV6 all in one room. We were able to have conversations with them, and the best part was watching their reactions to the special when we were watching it.
There were a lot of cheers, a lot of claps going on. When Derek said his famous line,
"For the news,
Channel 6," everybody clapped and roared.
Everyone loved it. And he's celebrating 40 years.
40 years with us here, yes.
I can say this, Derek walked around with a smile on his face all night. It was so good to see people that you're familiar with by watching TV, but then all of our coworkers behind the scenes. It was probably our largest reunion in 70 years.
It was a good one.
It was
there
great.
were 198 RSVP.
This is the only little tidbit I brought from it.
She brought a cake pop.
I wanted to bring balloons, but I got to bring a cake pop to celebrate.
I can't eat it until after the weather. I got to keep the palate clean. It's still pouring in spots. We've had some reports of hail. I'll show you the Westfield hail. You won't believe it. That's coming up.
Fans in the line of fire. Next, changes could be coming to stadiums around the country after a young girl is injured at a Major League Baseball game. And still ahead.
Chris, can you do this wave for us?
Yeah, we all know her signature dance, but a beloved symbol of Indianapolis culture and growth is in jeopardy. How you can help keep Ann dancing. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
In the minor leagues, I mean, you've got some guys that everybody's high on down there.
Is your family safe in the stands? Well, that is the question tonight after a line drive hit a young girl during a Cubs-Astros game in Houston, leaving fans and players shaken. ABC's Romina Puga explains the latest incident is leading to calls for change after several injuries and even one death at baseball stadiums in recent years.
Leagues. I mean, you've got some guys that...
A fun night of baseball turned serious when a foul ball struck a young girl.
That one went sizzling off into the stands.
This image showing the girl conscious and crying as she was whisked away. The ball shot into the stands off the bat of Chicago Cubs' Albert Almora, who was visibly shaken when he found out a child was hit and overcome with emotion.
I had to try to keep my composure during that at bat.
That's the ball.
But when that half inning was over, and
immediately, and you can see him right there.
I just couldn't hold it anymore.
In 2017, all Major League Baseball teams were required to extend their protective netting. This in the wake of several lawsuits filed by injured fans, including this man who was blinded by a foul ball.
My life and the lives of many fans have been changed forever.
And this woman who died from her injuries she sustained from a foul ball at Dodger Stadium last August. Last night, the young girl was sitting just 10 feet past where the netting ends, raising concerns over Major League Baseball's requirements and how far the netting should extend. League officials released a statement saying last night's events were extremely upsetting and will continue their efforts to protect fans in the stadium. Romina Puga, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New at 11, state police have revealed what led up to a shooting involving a police officer in Crawfordsville. Investigators say a driver at first refused to stop for a traffic violation, but eventually stopped stopped driving near State Road 32 and Banjo Road. The driver got out of the car and, according to police, brandished a gun toward officers. One officer fired at the driver, who was taken to the hospital. No one else was hurt. State police are now handling that investigation.
A man who was fired as director of Indianapolis Animal Care and Control is facing allegations in his new community. Doug Ray is executive director at the Humane Society of Fremont County in Colorado. He's accused of using expired euthanasia medications, treating animals inhumanely, and putting the public in danger. Several former workers and volunteers say Ray's policies have led to unnecessary suffering of animals inside the facility.
I wake up in the night, I can't go back to sleep because these dogs are suffering and there's nothing we can do about it.
I would go home at night and just lose it. I mean, this job's hard enough without having to be made to use expired drugs to euthanize animals and watch them suffer and die.
Several serious accusations were confirmed last month. Doug Ray took responsibility for the shelter's problems. He is still employed at the Humane Society in Colorado. And Ray served only 8 months as director of Indianapolis Animal Control before being let go in 2009. During his tenure, records show the shelter experienced slower response times and an increase in overtime. And Ray was criticized for taking animal control officers off the street to work inside the kennel, a move that some said placed public safety at risk.
A Mass Ave landmark known for greeting visitors with her dance moves has lost her step, but you can help get her back on her feet. Dancing Ann, the electronic art installation near the intersection of Alabama and Vermont, is in need of major repairs. So the Indianapolis Cultural Trail is launching a fundraising campaign to keep Ann dancing. The goal is to raise more than $262,000 by June 29th. Several corporations and the city are already showing support for that project.
Ann has been at the front of the cultural aspect of Mass Ave, which has a very rich history of all different types of culture and art and energy and vibrancy of our city. It's been a key component of economic growth and vibrancy and development. And we all love Ann. She's fun, she's cool.
She is cool. Dancing Ann was first installed in 2008. For more information on the fundraising campaign, go to the RTV6 app and click on this story.
Some very smart kids are up way past their bedtime. 8 are left in the Scripps National Spelling Bee happening right now in Maryland. Scripps is the parent company of RTV6. The spellers are on round 20 out of 20, and none of them has missed a word. If they all get through this round, all 8 of them will be named co-champions.
Can you spell insomnia?
Insomnia.
Dancing Ann.
Dancing Ann spelling, okay.
You were doing it a second ago.
It's hard not to move when you see that, right? Okay, I want to show you this. We had some hail, not necessarily large hail, but pea-sized hail, and a lot of it. This is from the downspout, and look at how it just kind of filled the mulch area there.
Wow.
Thanks to let me see if I can read this. Greg and Shelley McLean up in Westfield, appreciate you sending in the picture. May not be done with all of the hail tonight. Most of us, though, will just have heavy rainfall. Our threat for thunderstorms is the marginal or low risk. In other words, these would pulse up, maybe produce some stronger winds or hail, and then calm down. But we've got a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and it is pouring in many spots. Let's zip to the north. Around Monticello, Lake Schaefer, and Lake Freeman, torrential rainfall in progress. You've already had 2 inches of rain in some spots. Rain continues. That's why a flash flood warning has been issued until 1:30 in the morning. That includes Reynolds as well as Monticello. Obviously, never try to drive across a flooded roadway. Heaviest rain in Marion County is just outside of 465 now on the southeast side. This will continue to fan out to the east. Greenfield down to Shelbyville, then anywhere along Interstate 70. In general, we'll slowly start to taper this off while you sleep overnight. 58 in Richmond to 70 in Terre Haute. During the day tomorrow, it will end up being a dry day. If we see any lingering rain, it will be early tomorrow morning. We'll work on breaking up the cloud cover after that. By midday, 69 degrees. Afternoon high temperature still comfortable, upper 70s to around 80. will become partly sunny. That wind out of the northwest will begin to lower humidity a little bit. Over the weekend, first half of the weekend, the warmer half, but also the best chance for thunderstorms, especially Saturday evening into Saturday night. Sunday begins a 3-day trend with dry conditions as we go Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. There are your temperatures first half of the weekend, upper 70s to low 80s. The timing of the rain, 1 to 4. We begin to see showers and thunderstorms pop up. As we go 7 to 11, that's when we perhaps have a stronger line of storms. There's 9 and 11, and then those move off to the east. This is exciting. Remember, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 3 straight dry days. Temperatures in the 70s. Maybe we get a little more than that. Our chance for rain around midweek next week, Wednesday, 81, 40% chance of thunderstorms as well on Thursday. That wraps it up at 12:05:34.
All right, we'll move on here. Tonight, we want to say thank you to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for honoring RTV6. IMS joined in on our anniversary celebration, our 70th today, lighting up the scoring pylon with our logo and the message celebrating 70 years. We have a long history with the Speedway. On RTV6's first day on air, we broadcast the 1949 Indianapolis 500 live. Now, here's Brad with sports. Hey, Brad.
Thanks, team. The NBA Finals getting underway tonight. The Fever, though, are already a week into their season. The wins were few and far between in 2018, but things are already looking up for the new campaign. We'll look ahead to the Fever's home opener next on the news at 11.
30-7.
And good evening, everyone. The Fever's season is already a couple games in. They will make their 20th Bankers Life debut on Saturday. 2018 was a struggle from the start, but 2019 is already looking like it's got a lot of potential. Here's a look at what's on tap for the Fever in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
Gets it off to Dupree. In the paint, gets it to McCowan, and she lays it up and in.
This is how the season started for the Fever. And it's also how rookie center Tiara McCowan begins her pro career.
It was most definitely confidence building. You know, I was pretty proud of what I did, as well as my teammates, you know, and my coach setting me up for that play. I think that, you know, once I get that first little, you know, wind out of me and, you know, see how fast the game's going and see how physical, you know, everyone's playing, then, you know, I'll be fine.
A come-from-behind win on the road. A great way to build some early confidence in a team that is trying to work its way up from the bottom of the standings.
A lot of people had to step up and then to survive a monster game by Tina Charles. But at the end of the day, the win and the way it happened really galvanized their mentality, I think.
Pokey Chapman has one of the WNBA's youngest rosters, but she's also got 13th-year forward Candace Dupree to lead on the court. Candace is embracing her role as the team's most veteran player.
I think some of our guards have been a little surprised at how quick I've gotten in my older age, running them off the court. So I'm there, like I'm ready to get out and run, and it makes the game a lot more high-paced, a lot more fun, entertaining for the fans to watch.
The early burst from the offense has come from Erica Wheeler. She spent her WNBA offseason winning a league title and MVP award in Russia, of all places. She's hoping that overseas success carries over to this summer back here.
My teammates and Pokey just trusted me. The trust part helps a lot when someone trusts you and give you that confidence to keep going, even if you know you're not doing this well. And then being overseas, allowing you to play, you know, win the Euro Cup. I feel healthy. I feel like I got another boost of energy. So that helps a lot.
And I think there's going to be a lot of excitement. You know, you can feel it with the fan engagement, family coming to town, the whole 9 yards. So we're looking forward to it.
Fever will play their next 4 games at home. The first of those Saturday night is against New York. Then Dallas, Phoenix, and Seattle will be here. Chicago in a couple of weeks. Just the start of a season that runs through the first week of September. Well, the first game of the NBA Finals is behind us. It's now been 19 years since the Pacers made their appearance in the championship series. Could they climb their way back anytime soon, though? I talked earlier with ESPN basketball analyst Chauncey Billups. If Victor Oladipo comes back healthy and they keep this core together, do you think the Pacers have what it takes to reach the level of the East of the Torontos and the Milwaukees to be conference contenders?
I really like the Pacers, and I'm a huge Victor Oladipo fan. I like Miles Turner, Sabonis. I love Coach McMillan, but I think they need more. You know, they need more scoring, in my opinion. Probably some more shooting, in my opinion. This is a level that not many people make it to, you know, the NBA Finals, and make it through a conference. So you need more than, you know, 2 and 3 pieces to make that happen.
We're less than a month away until the NBA draft, when the Pacers will have a couple big decisions to make. Game 2 of the finals, by the way, right here on RTV6 coming up on Sunday night. Time for a final break. We'll be back to wrap up tonight's news at 11 next.
Toyota, let's go places.
Flood warning around Monticello until 1:30. Heavy rainfall Greenfield down to Shelbyville. Strongest storm right now. Southern Wayne County just south of Richmond. We dry out tomorrow. A dry afternoon on Friday.
All right. It's a late one here. midnight. But we're still celebrating our 70th.
Thanks to all the people at RTV6 who work for you every day. Good night.